I was almost a generation removed because I was not 21. The character I played, I was closing in on 30. But I think it was also relevant of my generation or half generation before the generation that considered Benjamin an icon, and that was that we were coming from a time after the Depression, even though it ended in the late 30s and the war had ended in the mid-late 40s. It took 20 years for America to suddenly pull itself out to the point where it suddenly not only could afford to be material, but suddenly considered, probably more than any other time in the 20th century, material things to be golden, or material things to suddenly took the place of love. I got my kid a new car. I got my kid, look, and Mr. Robinson, Bill Daniels does this as Mr. Robinson. He gives me this, he gives me that. It was a substitute for love. It was a time that we're still living through that, you know, having money meant leaving the kids. You could go away and leave the kids. You could give them this. You could give them a nanny. It meant money was used as a way to, in a way, obliterate the family structure. And the kids were aware of it, and the kids resented it. And that your children were not your children. Your children were no different than a new car. Your children were an object that you could say, he's at Harvard now, and you put him through school. I remember my father saying to me when I didn't want to play the piano anymore, do you have any idea how much money we invested into you since you first started taking lessons? I don't think my dad was unique. My dad came from, you know, the American experience that he then became, you know, he propagated the thing he learned. And I think that was the reason that that was a part of that whole generation.